Heaven guide me, heaven show me the way when I'm lost and confused. Heaven lead the way when I'm reaching for you. Will you meet me halfway? Heaven guide me. Heaven show me the way. Heaven guide me. Heaven show me the way when I'm lost and confused. Heaven lead the way when I'm reaching for you. Will you meet me halfway? Heaven guide me. Heaven show me the way. Heaven guide me. Heaven show me the way.
Good morning. I just wanted to absorb and look at each of you to say hello, and those of us who are joining by camera as well. It's a beautiful morning to enjoy. So we welcome you and your family and your friends to Unity Spiritual Center, where we honor the universal truths in all religions and respect each individual's right to choose a spiritual path. No matter who you are and where you might be on your spiritual path, you're always, always welcome here. My name's Sherry Humes, and I'm your platform assistant for today. And it's a joy for me to be here because it's the first time that we get to gather in person. And isn't that just feels so good? Today we have as our guest speaker, Rev Julie Montgague, and it's a pleasure. Thank you, Julie. Let's see. I have one announcement, and I'll repeat it at the end as well, is that for next week, what we'll be doing is, again, we'll be having service together, and it's going to be at 10 o'clock. You'll need to call between Monday through Thursday to reserve your spot so we can make sure that we have a seat for you. So again, that's for next Sunday, and the service will be at 10 o'clock, okay? And what we would normally do now is that we would have our time of greeting. We've come together, and usually, we've done a hug, but this time we're going to do a handshake, we're going to wave instead of handshakes and hugs. Sorry, I'm going back to old habits already. So, I know that we're not able to wrap our arms around each other, and some of our friends and family as well, but we invite you to take a moment of time to visualize yourself warmly embracing those you've been missing. And if you're blessed to have those, some of those people with you in your household, give them a hug, or just a hug in your heart and mind. And for those that aren't in this room today, that are here in the room, I invite you to look around the room and connect for a moment with your eyes and smile. Your smile can go a long way. You can smile with your eyes. So let's take a moment to do that. All right. That just, we can laugh too, yeah. It's just fun. I know. Yeah, feels good to laugh together too, doesn't it? I know, it's fun. Okay. Alrighty, let's get centered together. Let's take a moment. Just take a couple of deep breaths and soak this in. And we're going to say our 5 spiritual principles together. God is good and present in all things. The holiness of God is my own true nature. I am creating my experiences by how I think. My thinking is guided by my daily affirmative prayers and affirmative actions. I follow and am sustained by these values in every way, every day. And so it is.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
I invite you into a time of nourishing meditation. Begin to settle your body. Find comfort where you are. Take a nice deep breath in and release. Repeat this a few times. Following your breath is an easy way to relax and calm. Today we celebrate the arrival of Easter, a time of sprouting new ideas, nurturing new beginnings, fortifying inner wisdom and strength. A very simple way to connect with Source, with the divine in you, is to simply say, I am. For these next moments, repeat to yourself these I am affirmations. After each, just breathe. I am one with Spirit. I am divine love. I am love. loved. I am healthy. I am willing to learn. I am willing to feel my feelings. I am guided to all I desire. I am compassionate. I am growing and expanding. I am lifted up with renewed wonder. I am centered in spirit. I am, I am, I am. Saying I am is a wonderful short prayer. As you return from this time of meditation, bring forward the deep understanding of oneness with God, source energy, the divine in you. We are one in spirit. We are love and light. And so it is. Amen.
Lord, now that spring's in the world, and every tulip's a cup filled with the warmth of your love. Oh, lift me up. Raise now my heart as flowers rise, to greet the glory of day with soul as pure as lilies are, and white as they. Let me not fear the darkness now, since life and light break through your tomb. Teach me that doubts no more oppress, no more consume. Show me you are April, Lord, and you're the flowers and the grass. Then when awake the soft spring winds, I'll hear you pass. I'll hear you pass. Please join us in speaking the Lord's Prayer, the traditional form. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. And now, please welcome Rev Julie Montgague.
Thank you. I feel so welcomed here. Happy Easter to everyone, yes. And the big question of the day is, what do you need to resurrect? We all have these wonderful collections of thoughts, ideas, choices, and it seems like Easter is a good time to take a little inventory. Is there anybody I need to forgive? Is there anybody that I'm avoiding? Is there anything I should have done that hasn't been done? I've been putting it off, whatever it is. Resurrection is just life moving into a new form. We hold things as symbols in unity. The actual teaching, the book about the crucifixion, the last 7 words of Christ, by Charles Fillmore, it talks about being the catalyst for resurrection. And we all have that within us, every single one of us. You know, I wanted to share a story about a kindergarten teacher that was coming up to Easter and didn't really know about if her kids understood what holidays were and if they knew some of them and if they celebrated. So she was going to have a discussion with her class and say, does anybody celebrate any holidays? Well, that was too broad a question. If you're really a teacher, that wouldn't fly, right? You have to get a little more down into the specifics and being able to answer the whys and all of those good questions. But this teacher is going to persevere here. So she says, we have lots of celebrations through the year, and we're actually coming up on one pretty soon. And she said, does anybody know what that one is? And there wasn't too much response. And then one guy put his hand up and said, well, I think New Year's Day is a holiday. And I said, and the teacher said, yeah, that's good. What do you do on New Year's Day to celebrate? And the little boy said, well, my dad turns on the TV and watches back-to-back football games all day. And that was his impression for New Year's Day. But the reality is that we all have ways of taking a situation and understanding a paragraph, whatever it is, and being able to kind of bring it down to a place where I can practically apply it. One of Charles Fillmore's favorite sayings was that it didn't matter to him whether you read his books or you didn't read his books, or you liked his articles or you didn't like his articles. His thing was, you take it in until you find the gift. You think about it from all the angles until you find the blessing. You move through it in a way where you put it on. One of the things, as I stand here in front of you all in beautiful masks, if I literally, I was just telling somebody, they laughed, and it's the truth. Literally, when I wear that mask, it steams up my contacts. It's a problem. But it steams up my glasses too. So, the best of what I can come up with. We have been apart for a long, long time. It seems like a long, long time. For some people, it probably feels longer than other times. But the reality is that we get to say this is a grand opportunity for us to make a new choice. This whole pandemic thing is about making one choice after another choice after another choice. Oh, first, well, we're going to wear masks. Everybody's going to wear masks. Okay, we're all wearing masks. And then we go down a little deeper into it and find out not just masks, we have to stay 6 feet apart. And not just that we have to stay 6 feet apart, but we can't touch anything that is on anybody else. It's probably a good thing to keep that one in mind, no matter what the pandemic's about. But you have to it's like it's growing, It's like the longer this goes on, the more things we have to think about, Should I... I remember somebody saying, well, should I spray my newspaper on my porch before I pick it up, And I'm going, well, yeah, if that if you're afraid of that newspaper, you probably shouldn't touch it. Because what we are creating, if we create fear from a newspaper, then we've got to learn how to get over that one. You know what I mean? There's so many things that we could say, oh, it should be different. It shouldn't be this way. It should be different. But it's not. It is what it is. And what we need to figure out is, how do we make this, what is, a blessing? One of the things that people came in today, I just saw how happy they were to be here in their spiritual home. We have had potlucks here, and we've had, game nights, and we've had all these different things that we do as a community here. And many of us are so eager to get back to connecting. And for me, that's one of the things that I really hold as a goal for us, that we get back to that place where we can come together and talk about our experiences of this pandemic in the rearview mirror. We need to let it go. You know, the celebration that this teacher was trying to get these kids to say, and she was getting totally frustrated with it. Finally, this little girl puts up her hand. She goes, I know a holiday, and it has a rabbit in it, and so I think it's Easter. But she says, what happens is the rabbit stays in his house, and then the rabbit one day looks out and it looks like it's sunny. So the rabbit walks outside and he sees his shadow and he doesn't come back until summer. That was her holiday. We can make it up, we can make it up. There is a choice we make that we don't even recognize often is a choice. If you have one thing that's very frightening in this hand, and you have something that's very beautiful and magical and lovely in the other hand, what do you choose? What do you choose? The magic isn't in what you're holding. The magic is in saying that there is false evidence appearing real. For some people, I was listening to the radio, and they were talking about one of the animal guys that just loved snakes. And he was doing a whole series of episodes on snakes. Well, my mom was so afraid of snakes. Well, she is so afraid of snakes that she almost fell off a cliff because she saw a snake, And then, she probably won't want me to tell her about this, but I think she doesn't care. So we were on this hike, and my dad was kind of leading. We were just little kids then, and my mom was behind him, and I was kind of close to my mom. And I watched a bumblebee fly into her shirt. And she didn't really want to unbutton her shirt to get the bee out, right? But the forest ranger had no problem with it at all. He started unbuttoning her shirt. And my brother looks at me, he's unbuttoning her shirt. And I'm going, I know, that's crazy. What is she doing? And then out flies the bee. Sometimes things are not what they appear. You all look just glamorous in your wonderful masks, but how many of you would like to take them off forever today? And I'm not saying we're doing this, but yeah, the majority of us have had enough. Their contacts are steaming up. So today, let's not stop any of the good ideas about masks and staying 6 feet apart and, not touching and that kind of stuff. Let's hold those for as long as we need to hold that fear to feel safe. Every single fear that you've ever faced in your life is false evidence appearing real, because there is nothing in this world that is more powerful than God. Nothing. And what are you? Our meditation was very clear. What are you? I am God in expression. You are God in expression. Sometimes our choices when we're God in expression are great choices. Sometimes our choices are, fearful choices. But wouldn't it be something to be reminded before you made a choice between this job or this person to marry or that person to marry, or whatever big decision or choice you have to make, to have somebody say, now remember, don't go with the fearful one. You know, we have opportunities to be so connected to God all the time. And I can't tell you how many times in my life I have been just talking to someone who had been broken down and was no tires had gone out, and he couldn't find his way to church, and he was supposed to be the speaker. That's always a problem. But I'm not afraid of it. Wouldn't it be great to train ourselves to know that there is nothing and no one or circumstance, anything that can harm you unless you place your belief and faith in the fear? Simple. It's simple. It really is simple. We create from our thoughts and ideas and beliefs. We create from our choices of those thoughts, ideas, and beliefs. Charles Filmer said over and over and over, we have to let go of things that aren't real. And anything we think can harm us isn't real. Now, there are times when we've had, an illness, or an accident, or something happened, maybe a relationship problem in their family or something. Now, if you have a family, like I have a pretty large family, and if you have a family that has at times pull away from each other and have some stuff going on, then you make that real if you think about it, if you give energy to it, if you give your mental energy to this thing you've decided is fearful. So I always say, resurrection is always possible, because resurrection is just coming from one life, one circumstance, one set of circumstances, and moving it up to a higher level of consciousness, so that you can see now that these are just humans doing the very best they can, and they have opinions. I got caught last week. I go down once a week and spend the day with my mom and take her to lunch and all that stuff. And my brother and sister decided that she needed more time with helper people. And she has this one helper person that came to the house. And it was right after all the stuff started happening around Asians. In Atlanta, 8 of them were killed and 6 were killed last week. And, a child was killed. And when that came on the news, my mom noticed that her helper person was talking about how much she hated Asians. Well, since my mom has 2 children that are half Japanese, it kind of rubbed her the wrong way, if you know what I mean. And it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, too. I mean, I'm laying out money for her to have this person that's a racist. But then it was like the fireworks went off and said, this is not real. This is just false evidence appearing real. That's all it is. That's all any problem is. And if you want to take, I can tell you the story of Jesus Christ and how he was tried on Saturday. He was crucified on Friday. He was taken down and put in the tomb on Saturday. Right? And you can talk about each of those things. I have a little neighbor who goes to another church but writes me little notes to remind me to come to her church, which I haven't done, but I doubt I will. Because what she invited me to was a party to celebrate Jesus' death. Now, some of you have been raised in churches that aligned with that, maybe. But I was this little unity kid, and if I was upset about anything, my mom says, how are you going to change your thinking about that? Or how are you going to see that in a bigger light? And where does God fit into it? See, that's what we had to figure out when we were arguing with each other, or whatever. So it's a change of heart. One of my favorite teachers in ministerial school was Jim Gaither, Reverend Jim Gaither. He's just a sweetheart of a guy. And he's the one who always said, you're not right, you're not right, you're not wrong, you're not wrong. But you have to know that it's not what you believe as far as right and wrong. It's about what choice are you going to make in action to create a resurrected consciousness that doesn't have to be stuck in this old way of this person is, darker skinned than that person, or this person is Asian, or whatever it is. We don't have to be afraid of anything. Nothing. Because nothing is more powerful than the God in you. Nothing. So, I haven't even looked at my notes, and I'm sure there was something important on here I was going to say. Oh, yeah, it's close to Easter. Okay. But I love Easter because it's the ultimate overcoming of one of the most frightening stories you'll ever hear. Don't have to do that anymore. Don't have to do that. We're the light of the world when we remember who we are. I love that meditation. When we remember who we are, we can just say, I am. I am the Spirit of the Christ. I am the God that flows through me. I am the love that comes from the universe. I am. That's all you have to say. Isn't that amazing? It's simple. And it's really, really wonderful. I'm so blessed to know that we are coming to the end of this. We are coming to the end of the Mass, right? We're coming to the end of all inoculations. If we all get inoculated, and then everything will be better and all of that. We're going to do a lot of work. Yeah, it's going to take some work. We're going to have to get it done. But at some point, we're going to go, okay, we've inoculated, whatever it is, 80%. And so now we have the herd consciousness. And that, I think, is really funny, too, because when you're in the pandemic and you got to wear a mask and you can't go out and you can't touch a telephone, or anything because it may not be okay or whatever, here we are now. It's almost like, okay, I'll take a deep breath and I will bring the newspaper in, It's like, okay. So here we are. The best part of the resurrection story is there was rumors after Jesus died that some of his followers might steal his body and take it somewhere else. And so Mary Magdalene felt like she was going to get there first to make sure nobody stole his body. So Mary was there crying. The stone, it was a 2,400-pound stone that they closed the tomb with. And the stone was rolled away, and Jesus comes walking out, and here's Mary Magdalene just crying her eyes out. And Jesus says to her, "Why are you crying, Mary?" And she says, "Because they have taken my master and they won't tell me where he is." And then he touches her, skin to skin. No fear, no fear, skin to skin. And she realizes that it is Jesus. And it opens up her discipleship. It opens up her beginning to extend her own ministry from that. You know, I read this story and I think, you know, here's this woman. Women usually don't do anything spiritual in that culture, in that age, in that time. And here's Jesus. Here's Mary coming because she still doesn't feel worthy, and she's crying because she doesn't feel worthy. And Jesus says, "Why are you looking for the living among the dead?" So what the dead is in this symbolically is people that are so stuck they can't grow. They can't grow up and can't continue on with their letting go of all their fear. Well, Easter is a transformation time, a time of resurrection. And I'm going to, again, invite you to consider resurrecting something in your life. Could be a painting you started once and never finished. It could be a book you started and haven't finished, or anything at all. My suggestions today are pick up these two pamphlets on your way out so that you can read these. And they're very much, the first one's How to Stay Centered No Matter What. Very helpful in a time of pandemic. And Release and Renew. That's really about resurrection. And they're gifts to you, and they're in the back in the basket, so please feel free to take one. Easter is wonderful, a wonderful time. And my prayer, my intention is to face today and tomorrow and for the rest of our lives with no fear, knowing that God is in us, around us, through us, and the Christ Spirit is guiding us. Thank you so much. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Julie. It reminds me, what I'll try and do today is remove the boulders in my mind, and then I remember what my mom would say is, thoughts in mind produce their kind, so change it, Sherry. So, yeah, so thank you. We've reached the partner service that we get to give. And to practice the abundance that we are, we provided a donation box in the back of the room today. And so as you leave today, consider what you would like to provide and give and share with the church. And you can leave your love offering in there. And then also you get a gift today, so that's kind of a bonus, isn't it? You at home can click on the button that says donate on our webpage. So it's on our webpage, and you can click the button that says donate. And we're always grateful for all the generous gifts that we receive. So if you would affirm with me, I give freely and joyfully, for God is my source, and I have abundance in all areas of my life. And if you'll say our offertory blessing, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Okay, and next are the 4 calling birds.
I like to think that when we sing this song, that it reminds me of the women and Jesus followers knowing he was alive, and they were singing for joy. Eya.
Feel the joy of the music, the joy of life, the joy of the music. Hey, hey, we will sing for joy and celebrate music. Hey, hey, rhythms will dance and the melody soar. Feel the joy of the music, the joy of life, the joy of the music. Hey,
Thank you. That was very fun. Very fun. We're at the end of our service, so we'll be saying the prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. A message. Another announcement. Oh, I was trying to figure out what I was doing next. Okay, so again, what I want to say, just a reminder, one, is have a blessed week ahead. Have fun, find some joy. And don't forget to make your reservation for next week. It's going to be a 10 o'clock service. You can call between Monday and Thursday. You can give Janae a call. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish with our peace song. And we aren't going to hold hands this time. But you can hold your hands up. You can think of your friends and family. You can look into each other's eyes and enjoy. Okay?